Today's episode touches on topics of mental health and suicide. If you or anyone you know are struggling, please reach out. There's lots of great resources at Movember.com. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know how to greet anybody with this podcast because I never know when people are going to, if at all, listen to it.
So I can see statistics.
Oh, so tell me, should I say good evening?
There was a random spike at 4 a.m. We had 83 plays on YouTube.
Okay, so then nobody wants to be woken up with enthusiasm that loud at 4 in the morning.
What's up, guys?
No, it's got to be, hi, guys. Good morning. Welcome to the podcast. And that's how you want to listen to it at 4 a.m.
And on that note,
I'm Daniel.
I'm Paul.
And welcome to the
Dad Collective Podcast.
Episode 6.
I think. I've lost count. Well, I only know how to count up to 6.
You know, you can go up to 10 and then you got to move to your toes.
No, this is, you start at 1 again after the 6.
Just carry the 1.
Carry the 1.
Integers.
Bed mass.
Yeah, let's just say, buzz mathematic lingo.
I had a long division table taped to my desk in grade 4.
Everybody did. Oh, didn't we all do that?
No.
No, we had a times table.
Yeah. So maybe I'm thinking the times table. Never a math guy.
Maybe you should tape it here.
Yeah, just seriously.
Just in case we have to reference it ever again for a joke.
We use a teleprompter.
Does this, the way I sit, make you feel uncomfortable?
No, what makes me feel uncomfortable is that Grimace threw up all over your outfit.
Dude, this is the steezy, you know? Do we say steezy still?
I think that was like the COVID project.
I didn't make this. This is Champion. And it's kind of like throwback. You're wearing a throwback shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like vintagey kind of 90s-ish.
Sure. Yeah, no, I like it.
Joey thinks I look dapper in it.
She says dapper?
She has a big vocabulary.
Does she say steez? What's the cool Riz? You got Riz.
Or cap. That's cap.
No, that's a lie. Riz is the new thing.
Oh, cap's a lie?
It's, like a no cap is like not lying.
Oh, true.
Bible.
True.
Bible.
Do we still say true?
We say true.
Nice.
So we're just like trying to get, big on TikTok, and we're not hip and with cool guys.
We're dads, so we're going to cross the boundary
for yourself.
Oh yeah, you're not a dad
I'm
yet.
not a dad yet.
So how far along are you?
3 weeks.
3-ish.
Well, I'm not far along at all. It's Jess.
Really? You look like you're retaining water.
Fat shaming.
Friend since kindergarten.
You're canceled.
So that's okay. I'll come back. I'll reinvent myself.
You did.
As this?
I don't know where I was going with that.
I'm trying to think of a comeback, but I got nothing.
It's good.
So, Paul, you had a good week?
I did, yeah.
I always ask you because I think that checking in on about your state, your mental state is important. So
I see where this is going.
but did you have
that was an early start.
Did you have a positive week?
Man,
a week full of joy?
Positive means when you close your eyes, you hear just people screaming. Positive, yeah. It's been good. We're in the home stretch, 3 weeks and a bit before she pops, or no, she
gets cut.
I was like, how do I say this not graphic? She gets sliced open and the baby gets ripped out of her.
Oh my God. I told you this. Atlas so my first 2 kids were, Joey and Sunny, were like natural birth. One of them was induced,
natural?
but still your natural birth. I don't know.
No painkiller?
No. I mean, so what do you call it? So I don't know. Comment below. What do you call it when you give birth like the traditional way?
She went down the vagina slide.
She went down oh my God, that's a good.
I just picture the magic school bus.
Or what was there was another show where they went inside their body.
When
they shrunk down.
As a kid?
Not Magic School Bus.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was a movie.
But they didn't go inside their body. Oh, it was a Simpsons episode, I think.
This is
going off the rails. Okay, so hold on a second. She's getting whatever. So Sunny and Joey were whatever, but Atlas was a C-section, and I mean, it doesn't affect me physically directly, but I preferred it more. The C-section.
You preferred it more.
I preferred it for our family unit more.
Why?
I feel, again, from my perspective, that it was quick. It was something that we, like you said, you like schedules. It's like we didn't schedule it. Her water broke, but we knew it was happening soon. We went in, it happened, we were out. And again, I don't know. I can only speak on Jamie's experience, but from my perspective, it looked like she had an easier time with recovery, even though they say that. I think you have to be more careful, I guess, because there's stitches and it is surgery. So maybe that's why they're like, don't lift so much and
How
things like that.
How long did she milk it?
She's tough, man. I don't remember these things, like how
you just
long.
Black out.
Like Sunny got her tonsils out once, and I just found out yesterday that she was
just found out yesterday she got her tonsils out?
Someone just told me that some guy came to her house and took her tonsils out. No, I found out just yesterday. I was reminded, because apparently I didn't remember this, that she was like recovering for like 3 months. And I don't mean like the surgery and recovering from that, but like she didn't get back to normal routine for 3 months. So
You're
she
talking
was like
about tonsils.
Yeah, when Sunny got her tonsils cut out.
3 days to recover.
Yes, physically, like the surgery she recovered from, but she wasn't back to herself in regards to her sleep schedule was all thrown off. She was very cranky. She was crying for the first. This was really scary. And as a person who only experiences one time with their second kid, I didn't know how to react.
Okay.
She would cry when got her tonsils out so hard, like
that she would bleed,
that she would pass out.
Yeah, I think I did that too.
Like, really?
Yeah.
It's not a tonsil thing. It's just some people do that.
It's you have core memories of stuff.
Yeah.
And one of my core memories and stuff I still won't eat to this day was because of getting my tonsils out. Cheese omelets.
Yeah.
And
all types of cheese, no matter what cheese.
No, I don't. I only like cheddar mozzarella cheese.
No goat cheese? I like goat cheese.
Anyways, but cheese omelets from when I was a kid and fruit punch Gatorade, I will never, because of when I got my tonsils out in grade 4 on Elm Street.
You associate it.
It's crazy. Like
a bad memory.
I just will not have. It reminds me of that. It reminds me.
Yeah,
of that.
it's that kind of stuff can happen. Same situation. Do you remember when Temmie was at my house one day? You might have even been there, and he got gum in my hair.
Yeah.
And that traumatized me. I had to get the gum cut out. And since that day, and maybe even before that, I never have chewed a piece of gum.
No, yeah.
I'm mints. I don't like gum, and I don't like gum wrappers.
Speaking of haircuts, one time I wanted to do a middle part in my hair, and I just cut this, like just a chunk in the middle.
You did it yourself?
I did it myself.
We were stupid kids.
We were, but then I got a middle part.
But I think being stupid as a kid made us who we are today. Well, we made mistakes.
I don't know if I made a lot of mistakes.
You did. I can think of a few names of people you made mistakes with.
Yeah, but like there's. Am
I not wrong?
There was, we did some dumb shit. One time, Ari and I lit his backyard on fire.
I think you told me that already.
I talked about how I used to light my sink on fire.
Oh yeah, you light a lot of fires.
I used to really like fire as a kid.
You like what's that?
This beautiful fire.
You ever watch Firestarter since you love horror movies?
Like the OG one with
the
Drew
original
Barrymore?
one, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Did you see the new one?
It was horrible.
I heard it was awful.
Awful movie. Yeah.
But they tried their best.
We did, and
you got to have a positive attitude sometimes.
It's creeping in.
And on that note, Paul, it is in all seriousness,
this is actually a serious episode.
I mean, we'll keep some jokes. We put our
comfy clothes on.
Yeah, I wanted to lounge back for this one. But it's November, and that's as a dad podcast, we have to acknowledge that November is Movember, which is a great foundation amongst many and charities that help support men's mental health.
Yep,
amongst other things.
Yeah, they focus on getting your prostate checked and looking for touching your little guys down there to make sure there's no lumps and all that stuff. But I think a very overlooked thing, in society is men's mental health.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know the percentage, but the suicide rate for men is
the highest.
Yeah. The highest.
And I feel, and again, I don't know the percentages or the stats because
we're not stat guys.
Why prepare for this show?
Yeah. Who does that?
I feel that a lot of those suicides happen in young fathers. I feel like, I think that because I've witnessed it myself, not in person, of course, but I know of people and stories and all that stuff. And so it is overwhelming to be a dad. It's overwhelming to be a man. I mean, it's overwhelming to be whatever you are in the reality of things. But as fathers, and as a father myself and a father to be, you got to find ways to help with that. And it's very hard. At least I find it hard to acknowledge that I might be having an issue. And I feel that I do have issues, as I'm sure we all do.
Yeah.
I mean, you've talking candidly before about that. I want to hear more, but I definitely struggle, and it's not from anything specifically or directly. Like, my kids aren't listening. Like, it's not that. It's just the weight of life
Yeah.
Amidst this busy fatherhood life and work life and all that.
Yeah. And I think it, obviously it changes from before you have kids, during you have kids, like the fear of becoming a dad. Like, do I want to be, what kind of dad I'm going to be? How are my kids going to react? Like, are they going to grow up to be awesome people? And then when you have kids, you take on a lot of their stuff while you have your own as well. And it's
their baggage. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like, and I
see that. I'll tell you a story about that in a bit, but
yeah. And like I've talked to, Jess quite a few times that a lot of people, I feel, when they're going through a pregnancy with their wife, they don't think about how the dad's doing because like, obviously like, true. the mom is like, her body changing. She's growing a freaking
she's biologically changing and it's physically noticeable.
Yeah. And
so
the
it's
hormones
easy to hone
and all
in
that.
on that.
But like, it is stressful being a soon to be dad. Like, it's the financial, the parenting styles. Like, is he going to be okay? Like, am I going to connect with him? And that was a huge debate of, the stuff that we've posted as well. Mm-hmm. So like, it is hard and there are dark days and there's days filled with self-doubt. There's days filled with like, holy shit, this is happening. And then there's days where it's just like, where I constantly ebb and flow between that. Like, it still hasn't hit me.
Yeah.
We're 3 weeks out. See the goalpost.
Crazy.
And it's just like, it hasn't, I'm still like, what's my next, project? What am I doing here? Like it's
until it's part of your, we talked about this last week, but until it's part of your daily life, it's never going to be, you'll never be able to put, imagine what it's going to be like. You really can't, even if you have nieces and nephews and stuff like,
for sure.
My sister had kids before me and I'm like, from an outside perspective, and I'm not even that outside because I see it daily. I'm close with my sister.
You hang outside of her window often, don't lie.
I look through the kids' window.
What are they doing? They're playing Hungry Hippos again. It's my game.
It would have been my game. Yeah. But yeah, until you're in it, it's hard to know how you're going to feel, and all those feelings are going to come in, and they change so quickly. I have such changing feelings. So you have these fears of becoming a new dad, and not fears, but like real thoughts, right? Call them what they are. Part of the natural part of your brain developing to this next stage of your life. Yeah. But when you have kids, you start to get weird new ones. And it's not like necessarily as obvious as like, oh my God, like I don't want my kid, to get hurt or, just those obvious examples. Yeah. I have this weird fear and it's weird. And again, like, I don't know if it's narcissistic, and I think this has come up before.
Here we go.
But like, I feel like I know my kids so well. Sure. And they're young. Like Joey's 8. The oldest is 8. Sonny is 5. Alice is 2. I feel like I've known them forever. Sorry to interrupt and not to make light of the situation. I feel like if your kids were just listening to that, they hear you counting down, they're scared. They're running. 8, 5, 2. Sorry. 0. We're gonna try to be as serious as we can. Yeah, listen, we can talk about serious things, but still be ourselves, right? Yeah. So. But who am I? What is that one from? That one's from something too. Zoolander. Yeah. The puddle. Yeah. Who? That was great. So now I'm lost because So you were saying how? Oh yeah, my real fear. Okay, so I feel like I've known my kids forever. I feel like I've known them forever. They feel like they've been part of my life forever. Yeah. On the flip side, maybe I obviously felt like they've been part of their life forever because I have. Yeah. But then I think about, you remember like being 5 a little bit? Do you remember being 2? Dude, I don't remember. Do you remember anything about what being 2? No, I don't remember a lot from my childhood for some reason. Okay, but like maybe 10, but 2, you don't, obviously. No. I have a fear of dying. Yeah. Before my kids reach an age that they will that there will be a guarantee that they'll remember who I am. And like your voice and all that stuff. Yeah, and luckily there's cameras, there's videos, so I feel like none of us can ever just disappear. No. Right? But and again, this is a real anxiety of mine that's completely unwarranted, but I think about if I die now, Atlas will have no memory of me. Wow. Right? Like, that's deep. You don't think about that shit, but really like, fucking cool. It's very... No, that's not cool. It's crazy. It's not cool, but it's like... Yeah. And I don't know if other people have this fear. I don't know if there's something wrong with me, amongst other things, but like... I have those thoughts. Like it gets dark sometimes, and it's hard. Like, how do you talk about that? I don't really necessarily say that to Jamie, although I can and should. Yeah. But it's a thought, right? So what? I don't need to discuss every thought. but thoughts compound, and that's the scary thing about it all.
Your brain fills up with stuff, and sometimes you got to get it out.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of guys don't, right? Like we come from an artistic background. Like the way we used to like write songs, I would have a book. I would just write shit in a book and pass it to you, and you come up with the melodies and all that stuff. And I was like a stereotypical emo kid and always in my feelings and just wanted to be Pete Wentz so badly.
It's funny. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I've always been, I guess, outspoken in art. In
expressing emotions.
And a lot of people don't have that, and a lot of
people fade away too, right? That can fade from when you were younger.
But also a lot of people don't have that outlet, and a lot of people growing up are told, especially if you're like, you know, a little boy, like, oh, boys don't cry, and
especially our generation, right? Like, it's funny. I'll reference this because I did hear, I don't know which dad podcast I did see it on, because I watch a couple, because there's only a couple, and
and we're coming for all of you.
We'll come together. I think it'll be nice to. I'm talking about mental health. We're trying to bring joy and happiness, not threaten people on the internet. The opposite of what we're trying to do.
Sorry,
that's okay.
I bully people sometimes.
That's okay. Get it out. You said you need an outlet.
It's endearing.
It's endearing. But it's funny, so because it rings true. So they're probably similar age to us, but like we come from a generation where our parents, our fathers, although mine dad was, but just generally aren't super emotional. No. They're more proper. Right. It started to fade at that point. They're children of like
I think my dad had a briefcase.
Like war survivors, right? Our parents that's the generation, right? To some extent. So that's who they were. And out of that generation, you get the emo population of their kids, right? Like emo came out of like this thing. So like this hardcore emotion out of very little emotion.
Yeah.
And so I wonder how that cycle continues, if we get the reverse, or if we get more emotion out of our kids.
Well, and maybe kids are a little too sensitive now.
Possibly, or maybe and directly potentially because their parents, right, are carrying that overly sensitivity. So that's the balance. It's like, you should be able to express your emotions as a father, as a dad, as a husband, as a man. Mm-hmm. But you also don't want to come across as, at least I don't, and I feel like you're the same, as needy, right? As like, look at me, I'm very sensitive to that. As much as of a performer as I am, I also don't want to pull attention towards me sometimes. Sure. And so I feel like I bottle a lot of things up, not just from feelings, but like work, business, and fears of like money, of course, all these different things. They, like I said, they compound, and then you need an outlet somehow.
Yeah. Like you and I aren't on salary jobs. I'm fully commission based. You're, run your own businesses, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't get a check every 2 weeks. If I don't sell a house, I don't get paid. So obviously that's, a stress. Thankfully, like we've done very well, but the market's screwed. You never know, right?
I mean, the baby's on the way. You can't stop it. Can't change it.
And I just really want to provide the best life that I possibly can to, what should we name him today?
Could I name him? Because you always get to name him.
That's weird. I don't think Jess would allow that.
It's just
maybe.
It's just like a fake name. When did she likes it and gave it?
What if this is actually going into a raffle bucket, and then we're picking the name out of all the names that I've given him?
I'm going to give you a name.
He might be named Horst.
We're dropping that one. Koust? No,
we already went that way.
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
You made that joke.
Okay, I'm going to name your son for this episode Carmichael.
Carmi. I like it.
I want to give you
part
like
of the Sopranos family.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
But yeah, those fears are real, and they can grow. And and you said like, it's nice to be financially in a position to not necessarily worry about that. But on the flip side, when you are going into a scenario where you might be in a good situation financially, you also then have the fear of like, how do I make sure I don't turn my kid into a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't spoil him. I don't over spoil him. I don't do these things where they're entitled. It's harder to pull back. My parents come from people who didn't have a lot of money, and then they're great, right? And sometimes people in those scenarios rise to the occasion and are better off. And there can be a lot of dick kids out there who
I think what's kind of good with me is like I did the public and the private school thing.
Yeah.
So I can see.
Yeah.
Because all of my most messed up friends were the private school kids. Yeah. Nothing against private school, because like
that was in your school at your grade, right? Like, so it's your reality.
Like Carmichael might end up in the private school system just because
where you live.
That's where we live, what Jess really wants. And I'm down with it too. But yeah, no, I don't like, I literally started I think I started selling stuff when I was like in grade, like 9-10 years old. I started again, like a DJ company. Like I worked at Licks cleaning tables. I was at so many, like I've always been working.
We worked Licks together.
We did. Yeah. All of us. I was there for 3 days though.
I was there for the longest. I was there for 8 months.
Yeah. So, and we've always worked, and I want to instill that on Carmichael as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just kind of ask, because like in schools now, from when we went to school, if you were bullying someone, it was in person. And now I find with kids, people are such keyboard warriors, right? Like, have you had to deal, probably more so with Joey, about bullying and her mental health, and like, has she dealt with that yet?
Yeah, no, and yes. So from a bullying perspective, no, she hasn't. She's not chatting online yet.
She's been the bully?
No. Okay. She's, oh my God, she's so the opposite of a bully though. Like she overly cares, and that I'll connect that to mental health in a moment. But
100%.
She's bullying. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing too extreme in her school with her grade and her class or whatever. And again, she's not like chatting yet. She doesn't have a phone. Or the iPad that she uses isn't like, she chats on Facebook Messenger Kids.
Okay.
With like 2 or 3 friends.
Sure.
But it's pretty controlled, and all the conversations go through my phone, like essentially, like
it's routed. You see it.
So I see it. But yeah, mental health is in kids.
Well, you guys went through the pandemic.
Yeah, and that we had repercussions of the pandemic.
Well, you're in the event industry. That whole industry got wiped.
Oh, not me. Put me aside. Yeah, my whole life crumbled, and I was financially completely like terrified.
Yeah, no, I think we even had a conversation during it.
Yeah,
and I was actually worried. About you, because you're opposite of me. You don't show your emotion a lot when you're upset. No, other than online when you're typing with the typey things. But me, I'm a giant. I was a serious emo kid. But I remember, I think we were at like Schreiber's backyard or something one night, and we were all hanging out, and you were saying like how bad it was, and that was the first thing. And
I don't say it often. I feel that when I talk about anything about me, I feel like I don't want to be a burden, and I know that's not a good way of thinking of it.
No,
but I really rather not put
anyone through
demons in somebody else's. Someone have to deal with it.
But sometimes you have to.
I know you have to.
My voice is cracked. I'm going through puberty, guys. Just noticing hair in weird places.
I think my voice cracked like 3 times last episode. Okay. So
you're excited.
Let's get a crack count going.
One rock, please.
No, not that kind of crack.
It's always sunny
in Philadelphia.
I know.
But yeah, coming in the pandemic. So yeah, we can talk about me, but it wasn't really me. It was my kids. It was especially Joey. Like,
so she was 5.
Joey was. So the pandemic started in 2020. I have to do some math now. Pull up the multiplication table chart.
There we go. Dead mass.
2020. So we're in 2023. She's 8. Yeah. So she was 5 when we went into it. See how quick
my math was?
Why do you know my kids better than me? You're keeping track.
Yeah.
So yeah. And 20, we went through that, and it was, she was at 5 in kindergarten.
How do you explain
online learning?
Yeah.
So like she's on the computer and she's doing school that way, and we're seeing her like Bubby and Zadie and uncles and aunts with masks on out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. Like it was very traumatizing for her, and she started to get more scared of things. So when I say like, bullies, and you made the joke, is Joey a bully? She's not. She's overly concerned about people now, which brings on a level of anxiety and stress.
Yep.
We even, and again, this podcast is about being transparent, because if you're going through this,
it's
not helpful alone to know that we're going through this. And so Joey, for a period of time was seeing like a psychiatrist.
And I think that's totally good and should be normalized.
Yeah, and I don't even think you need to see a psychiatrist only when things are wrong. I think it's like a muscle. It's good to do it. Yep. This is a level of psychiatry, what we're doing now, right?
Yeah.
Just being able to talk about it and feeling like you're being listened.
I felt like this is more like waterboarding, but yeah, sure.
Oh, I'm torturing you? For someone who's really trying to concern about my mental health, you sure are just chicking it in and turning it.
Whatever you say, Grimace.
Whatever
you're thinking hard.
Hold on. Are you opening the floodgates to insult each other's clothes? Because
as we're talking about mental health.
Listen, there's teasing with best friends, and then there's real scenarios. We still are guys after all. But yeah, she had to go through some crazy stuff, and she overcares. She's overly worried. Like just the other day, like again, we still see
they come out.
Ripples of it.
Yeah.
And my her cousin who goes to the same school as her, Hayden, he heard him. He hurt his head at recess.
Okay.
Morning recess.
Sure.
And the whole day she was concerned about him. He wasn't there. She didn't see him. And the second she got in their car, she wanted to call my sister and ask him how he was. Okay. And that's a nice thing to do. But again, it's that overwhelming nervousness.
Like an OCD kind of?
Yeah. Like we were worried about some OCD stuff, like having to, touch things or do things a certain way.
Yeah.
But you got to work through it, and you have to recognize it and acknowledge it and not deny it, right? Like not be like, no, she's fine. She's just going through a phase or whatever. Like you have to be able to acknowledge it in order to try to figure out
what was going on,
how to help.
And I feel like that's completely different from when we were growing up, just because like it was never really talked about. You know what I mean? Like behavioral problems were just like, oh, like give them a behavior book and like have them writing it every day.
Or write lines. We used to write lines.
My goodness, man. Grade 3.
Yeah, it was Mrs. Mrs. Monroe's class.
Monroe.
Were you in her with
I was
me?
in Monroe.
Yeah, so that was lines.
Yeah, I remember I had to miss a baseball game because I was writing lines or dictionary pages.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the worst.
I loved it.
Yeah.
No, I actually loved writing lines.
Yeah.
I feel like I got out of other things I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Like it was like February and just like stay in from recess to write lines.
No, please.
No.
Stop, drop, and roll.
That's
another thing we should.
Yeah. So yeah, fathers, dads go through a lot, as again, everybody does.
Yeah.
But I find it really hard. And again, maybe that's directly connected to why, male suicide rates are at such a potentially high rate in comparison to others. And it's because like you said, we're raised to potentially not talk as much, or maybe that's just what we believe. We're not raised
silence.
that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that it's something that definitely needs to, be talked about. And luckily I have a very supportive partner, and like,
you talk a lot about your feelings with her.
Yeah. Like it's so we've been together for 3 years now. We started dating before.
It seems like so much longer.
I know. It was before we started dating.
During the pandemic, no?
Before. We met in January.
Oh, got it.
But I had some of like the darkest times, and since we've been together, like one of my closest friends unexpectedly passed away.
Yeah.
And that was like the first person in my life that wasn't a family member, old age. Yeah. Like a sudden accident. And
crazy.
I had plans with him on the Sunday. It was the Saturday, and I found out the Sunday morning, and it's just like, that was like that rocked my world. I'm still not.
But did you talk about it though?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I had to, because like, it was dark, and it's something that I still haven't fully recovered from. It's when someone's such a crucial part in your life, you talk to every single day, and it's just gone. It's like, it's a weird feeling.
Yeah. It's like a light switch. It's on and then it's off.
Yeah.
It's not a dimmer where you can see the light fading away.
No, exactly. And it's not expected or anything. So she definitely helped me through that. And like, getting just this past summer, getting diagnosed with, severe ADHD, severe anxiety and depression. And someone like me who is, I don't want to say in the public eye, but like I'm always on, I'm in sales, I'm client forward. And
yeah, you're with people.
Nobody knows. And everyone sees me as like, oh, he's like the happy, goofy guy. And,
yeah.
He looks like a retired boy band member. He's just all happy, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, no.
That's self-prescribed, that retiring boy band.
Yeah,
more like a retired something else. That's not good.
It's just not quick today.
It's not good.
He's usually more on the ball. But
I'll get you at the end of the episode. Oh, retired gymnast.
He's just going to be toned out this whole time, just trying to think of that insult.
Yeah.
3 days later, he's going to be like, well, I don't even
retired flute player.
There you go. You suck, man.
Boo.
But so like going through that was really hard, and it just compounded and compounded, and buying into a business and having like growing a team and just now becoming a dad, getting married. Like it was this year specifically, like 2023 has been like such a crazy year for me that it creeps up on you, and it starts with like a pit in your stomach. And then it's just, for me, it's like a lot of fluttering in my like chest. And
you don't talk about this. You never talk about this with your friends.
No, I don't.
So, but why?
It's just because like our group chat is just us making fun of each other the whole time.
Yeah, but why not call someone?
It's funny because I remember I was having a really tough time, and I was at the gym when I lived at the Loft, and I was like, I messaged like Schreiber to be like, hey, do you like want to hang out later? And I like unsent it because I was just like, I don't.
Yeah, you don't want to go there.
And like it's kind of weird because like I don't have. It's not like I don't feel comfortable talking to my friends.
But you also that was never part of our relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, in that sense. So you start to think like, I never done this. It would be strange for me to do this now.
No, and a lot of people from the outside looking in, I know how people perceive me, especially my like friends.
Garbage.
Yeah, garbage, horrible human being.
Weird.
Smells weird.
Awkwardly tall,
small
but
hands,
lanky.
smells like cabbage.
So probably has a ultra white penis.
It's translucent.
Translucent.
Yeah, we were never
like alabaster colors.
I guess maybe it was because of our upbringing, because we weren't brought up to talk about this stuff. You and I were in bands together. We wrote music together.
We were different. I think we were able to get more deeper, I think, in that timeline.
Sure. But
in a different way.
And that's why, like, there's no one that I guess been a bit more recent with some people that know, like this summer was like, it was really hard. And I was just like, I think I need to like get on medication.
You ever try a psychiatrist?
Yeah. Like I had a social, like a therapist, I talked to a therapist for 2.5 years, probably 5 years ago. And then now I'm starting to see someone else as well.
But you have to pay, just from a side note, you have to pay for that, right? That's not covered by, are you on a medical plan? Probably,
yeah. Jess's, yeah.
But is that covered?
It is, yeah.
Fully?
It is, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Because I feel like there isn't enough coverage out there, at least in Canada. And I've looked into this stuff before, and it was going to be like quite expensive to do it for the average person.
Yeah.
And that makes it trickier.
There's certain things that I will always spend money on. It's my pets.
Yeah.
Random candy.
And
mental health.
Don't forget.
And
cool equipment for the podcast.
Cool equipment podcast, people.
Fancy mics and cool lights.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the theme song.
So
I'll tell you the one good thing though about it's not the one good thing. I shouldn't preface it like that, because then it sounds like everything else besides that one thing is bad.
Sure.
But having kids or having a kid helps mental health in many ways too, for me and maybe others, likely others, probably others, because it gives you, like I said in an earlier podcast, it gives you someone else to care about. It takes your mind off of like, it puts your mind on the bigger picture. So some of those things that might have given you anxiety or might be heavy sometimes feel a little less heavy when you have the perspective that now this thing that you have to deal with, this child, this baby, this kid, that's part of your life for the next whatever gajillion years, is someone that you have to raise and take care of, and that you care about their health, mental health, physical health, emotional health more than yours. So you start to put like all the stuff that, again, you can't just say, I'm no longer going to be depressed. It's not something that you can turn on and off, right?
Yeah.
It's clearly something. It's real. It's a condition. But it does put some of those things that might have given you anxiety in perspective.
It's also like you don't want to let them down, and you don't want to.
But that's more anxiety to have that
give
feeling.
them but you don't want to give them the trauma that could cause. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you don't want to put your problems on them.
Yeah, because like, God forbid you do something and your kid needs to live with that for the rest of their life. And like
or even just a short period, it's still overwhelming.
I know people whose parents have committed suicide and without notice, and it's...
Oh, and the kids didn't know is what you're saying. There's no indication?
Yeah, and it's scarring. And like,
but that's worse though.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like it's... Yeah. You're not only doing it to yourself, and like obviously you're gone, but like you need to have that thought in your head that it leaves a giant imprint on
for sure.
On
and listen, I've also known, unfortunately, some of those scenarios.
Yeah.
And when you are that, let's be honest, like mentally ill, that you're dealing with that much anxiety and stress and emotion and whatever brings us all on, depression. You aren't physically capable to have that potential empathy or compassion towards who you're leaving behind. No. Right? If you could, it wouldn't exist. There wouldn't be suicide if you were in a mental position to put yourself in someone else's shoes.
It's sometimes it hurts so bad that it doesn't matter at the end.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You're not thinking about it, and you also believe that you're actually doing it potentially for them or a favor, right? Yep. And again, we are not by any means mental health experts or medical doctors. We're speaking solely on our own experiences and our own conversations.
Yep.
But this is what we've seen, and having kids is a new type of stress and anxiety that can come on.
Mm-hmm.
But the great parts of it are make it all worth it, and you have to try to keep everything in perspective and do your best to kind of overcome your own demons and talk about it, because talking about it, we know it helps.
Yeah. And keep on swimming.
Keep on keeping on.
Yeah. And that's the thing is talking about it and not having it be so taboo. And we've talked about some taboo stuff on this podcast, like the reaction you got from not connecting with your babies right away. There's a lot of back and forth, and we expect it. We're, putting this out on the internet. We know there's going to be people who don't agree with everything. We're in that's
what we want, though. I want to hear your perspective, because we're only talking from our own experiences. We're not saying that any of these statements are blanket or this is all dad. This isn't all dad's podcast. This is our dad's podcast.
Yeah.
And this will be your experiences of becoming a dad and my experience of currently being a dad. And I'm not always as articulate as I want to be and can express that emotion, and that, connects to today, is that with that statement, it's not that I didn't love my kids. I instantly, of course, love them. It's just like the connection of it, this instant connection when I felt that my wife grew that she had a physical connection that I could never experience, and that detached me a little bit from that instant connection.
Like if that makes sense. Yeah, it came to a point where you wanted to make t-shirts like Jamie had this baby and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
All I got was
that tracksuit.
All I got was this crazy tracksuit. Yeah, this was my push present.
It was. I love it.
Are you gonna do a push present? You know what that is?
Yeah.
But she's not pushing.
We call it a slice gift.
Rejection.
Rejection.
Yeah, like ejection.
Yeah.
So what are you getting her?
I don't want to talk about that on the podcast.
Tell me.
Oh.
Does she know?
Yeah, I think she.
Then it's not a good push present. You got to surprise her.
It's a good push present.
Will you buy me one?
Yeah.
I'm pushing the podcast forward.
Yeah. It's debatable.
I'm reposting.
You're reposting.
I'm resharing.
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is the best.
Yeah. So are you, I don't know, did you deal with, you're talking about today, obviously, and the issues I have today as a dad with that type of stuff, but did you have did you have any depression or anxiety as a kid?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, man, I was
like, and how are you gonna? And could it have been avoidable? That's my question. Like,
I didn't talk about it.
But so then, okay. So tell me first, and then I have a question.
So there was a lot. I'm a very sensitive person, and
you are.
I worry.
But you're an oxymoron, because you're very sensitive, but you're also very closed up.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like
it's weird.
It's hard to tell.
And
I always feel like you can take the best insults.
Yeah.
But really, you shouldn't be the one who takes the best insult.
Well, it's because I'm smarter than everyone.
I don't know. I just want to throw
that in there. But yeah, so there'd be times when I would feel so upset that we were leaving my dog alone. I remember I read, I think it was in grade 4 or 5, a book about the Holocaust called Daniel's Story.
Yeah.
And like I didn't sleep for like 3.
Because you were scared or because you were sad?
I just have such an overactive imagination, and that's just how my brain has always been. Like I've always been a dreamer. I had an imaginary friend as a kid, and like.
But he left.
Sardon. Yeah, he did. He was the alien. Sardon.
He hated you.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, so I always had that overactive imagination, and like I've mentioned a couple of times, like I've always been fine on my own, and I've adapted to be okay on my own, and whether that's self-preservation.
But are you actually okay?
Sometimes.
Are you actually okay on your own?
Yeah, I am.
Are you actually okay on your
Just
own?
repeating the question until I break down.
I told you I'm going to get you to break down.
Yeah, it's easy. I can, like I said, I can cry.
Okay, but it seems to me that those examples were very much like the scenario.
I would have panic attacks.
But not because you read a book or not because of this. But like, so in other words, what were some things that you can remember from your childhood that you, as becoming a parent, you can implement so that you can step in, to and intervene with your child, with your son, with your little Carmichael, so that he doesn't have to feel the way you did.
To be open and communicate about it, to not, again, bottle it up inside, not to feel like you're a burden. I feel like that's a common feeling, is feeling like you...
Even as a kid.
As a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just when there's other things going on, like, you could have a sick parent or, arguments.
Or they can just seem they're busy, right? Like if you're a parent who comes across as constantly, I'm busy, I can't do this now. I'm busy.
Yeah.
Then you'll miss those moments. I've done it myself. You'll miss the moments to have those conversations and to learn about what they're thinking about, because much like you mentioned about yourself, what people see of you isn't necessarily how you're feeling. Kids are the exact same way. Like what you see of them, if they're smiling or happy or fighting with their siblings or whatever it is, that's not necessarily how they're really feeling. And it might just be manifesting in that way. And so you have to I try hard, I really do, to find these moments where I feel like something is wrong or off or different with any of my kids, and read through between the lines, as opposed to just thinking that, they're not listening or something, stupid is happening or wrong.
It's just, I feel like just being like, are you okay? Are you happy? And like, but
just go up to your kid. Are you happy?
No, but,
are you happy?
But I don't feel like that's a wrong thing to ask, right?
No.
And just like,
how about this? How about this? What makes you happy?
Sure. And maybe they don't know. Because like,
no, but that gives them an opportunity to expand.
Like, what makes you happy?
What makes me happy? So my point is, and I'll tell you, but when you ask that, I have to explain something. Are you happy? What's wrong? Those are all, kids will often give you one-word answers.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm good. So if you say, what makes you happy? What made you happy today? I always ask my kids after school every day, what's the worst and best thing? What's the best thing you did today and the worst thing you did today?
The pit in the valley or the peak in the valley or whatever.
What?
That's
I don't know that
reference.
It's a
Kardashian thing. I don't know.
I've never watched one Kardashian thing in my life. Not one.
Not even the tape?
One Kardashian thing I've watched in my life. Just one. But yeah, so asking those open-ended questions where they're kind of, they have to be saying is really helpful. I find that to be awesome.
Sales. I know how to get people to talk.
To open up.
Say one word and get them to be like, yeah, take my money.
What'd you do? What'd you do with this house?
No, I think having that line of communication opening and normalizing talking about feelings.
Yeah. So what makes me happy talking about my feelings is when things are easy. I don't know if that makes sense, but like when I'm going through stints of non-conflict, like when work's going well, when everything's just lining up, that really makes me happy.
See, that freaks me out.
When things are going well?
Yeah, I'm just like, something bad's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think like that.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get back to you quicker than I expected it. But my family really is the true thing that makes me happy on the bottom, at the core of everything. That's what really makes me not superficially happy.
Okay.
But then doing things I enjoy make me happy. Like it can be as simple as doing this podcast.
Yeah.
This opportunity makes me happy, right?
Yeah.
Doing something cool at work, that moment makes me happy. There's something else I was thinking the other day that actually really I just love makes me happy. I think having the opportunity, I know this sounds like stereotypical dad, but to sleep, no, but not to sleep, but just sleep knowing that the next morning there's no responsibility. Like I'm not necessarily going to sleep in, but like me and Jamie went away this summer, just like up north for my 40th. Okay. And
just the two of you?
Just the two of us. And we didn't do much, but what made us so happy is getting into bed at the time we wanted, watching the shows we wanted, and just waking up naturally and not being jarred out of bed because someone's staring. That's another thing that Sonny does. Most of my kids come into my room and scream. Sonny will come into the room silent. And if this microphone was me and I'm Sonny, she would stand here like this, staring at me until I woke up. If I didn't wake up, I'm not being woken up by her. She will stare at me. Sometimes I looked at the camera and it's like that
paranormal activity.
Yeah, paranormal activity. And it's like 25 minutes of her standing there. That's what it is like.
That would be crazy if she just turned around to the camera and stared at it.
And just, oh fuck, I'm not going home tonight now.
I love horror movies.
That's frightening. But yeah, having those having freedom. Having freedom also makes me happy. So it's funny. It's like polar opposites. Having family and kids, which it's at like this point is no freedom. And those opportunities to have freedom, because back to mental health,
kids.
You need that balance.
Yeah.
You need that balance. You can't be inundated with just one thing all the time. You need variety. I need variety.
You do.
I sometimes need to break, like I said last week, that Groundhog Day feeling and just do something that I don't typically do. And I don't need a lot to reset. I just need a day sometimes. Okay. So there you go. What makes you happy now as a person who's not yet, and obviously my wife, I said family, but Jamie makes me happy. Yeah. It's not just my kids, it's my whole family. And my mom makes me happy.
She sponsored this video too.
She called me. No, she didn't sponsor. She threatened me.
Yeah. She's like, I need an ad read. We're like $10,000, please.
She said I depicted her as someone who fights often with Jamie. I don't think I did that.
She does. You told me. I've seen the videos.
That wasn't. It was
like worse than street beefs.
We'll cut this. So
what makes me happy? Obviously, like knowing that I found the person I'm supposed to be with, and starting this family makes me insanely happy. Hanging out with the dogs.
You love your pets. Eh?
I do. I love Brooklyn and Chandler. Like they're the best. But they do. Like it's like Brooklyn and I have like the craziest bond, and it's crazy. But
you're gonna have that with the kids soon,
for sure. And I found it's like I have that with Jess, and like my life doesn't make sense without her. Yeah, you too.
You have that with me.
What else makes me happy?
Candy makes you happy.
Candy, finding a new sour candy. I'm a big sour candy guy. That makes me really happy.
Technology makes me happy too.
Yeah, technology makes me happy.
I love when new gadgets and shit come out.
I get the new iPhone every year.
I just like watch, even if I don't have to order, if I can't get it or
Marcus
if I don't
Brownlee, you like the
I just like watching videos of people talking about the new things that are coming out.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, I like that. I like going for long drives. Like I used to just go for long drives by myself.
Love driving.
Yeah, I hate driving, which is hilarious.
So it makes you happy and fearful at the same time.
But like, yeah, just that like would always clear my head. And like going to the gym again, like I said, it's crucial for my mental health. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Seeing my clients like win a house.
Yeah, I can imagine that's probably pretty overwhelming, isn't it?
It's great.
Or do you get numb by it over time?
You do. Yes and no. Like there's certain, like I've got clients that are like my diehards, like
diehards. Like they're like, don't they typically buy one house every like 20 years?
No, but it's the referrals, which you don't know any because you've never given me one.
Listen, give me a kickback and you got one.
My friends always want a kickback.
I only do things for money. I was literally
just at a wedding being like, oh, is your company here?
You didn't give me that recommendation, did you?
Yeah, no, I told her to contact you. No. I gave her.
What's her name?
We don't need to talk about it. We talk about this off camera.
Text me. I want to Google. I'm going to search her email. And if she doesn't mention you, you're not getting anything.
I never asked. That's the thing. I never asked for it.
If she mentions you,
I don't want.
There will be money at your door.
I don't
care.
I don't do it for.
I don't do it for the money.
I do. I help out my friends. But it's sometimes like it's not the same as my first deal, right? I've been doing this for a long ass time.
Not the same as your first love.
Yeah, it's just like
first anything's exciting.
Sure.
Your first kid will be exciting.
Sure. Yeah.
And then your next kid will also be exciting.
Yeah, definitely not. That will be.
I almost got you.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I think Jess has really helped with my happiness. Like there were years where I just felt like I was floating, just like going through the motion. Like it got to a point where like I was doing crazy deals, didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Didn't spike. I remember just before your bachelor party.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah. Woo! I saw some of like the craziest paychecks I've ever seen in my life. And coming from a guy who was in the music industry and before that working at like Hollister, you know,
we called it Hollister.
Yeah. Hollister. It's,
you knew that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said to my face. It wasn't.
I thought we were doing that behind your back.
No, that's the other group chat.
Oh, God.
But yeah, like I was in before I met Jess, like just going through the motions of living and like, I just didn't care about anything. And that was like really alarming to me when it was just flat. Everything was just flat. And again, people see me from the outside.
You're numb. It sounds like numb.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah. And a lot changed because like and you so said. Hold on,
did you talk about it at the time with anybody?
Yeah, I was like seeing a therapist at the time.
Yeah. So you recognized it and you're gonna have to work harder to recognize it when you do care about someone else, because when you do have a kid, right? You care about Jess. I care about Jamie, of course. Yeah. But the emotion and connection to your kid, even though I said wasn't initially connected, but the reality is that connection is like nothing else. And when you have someone like that, where you care so much about them more than your dog, more than anything, it's very easy to check, to back, put on the back burner your own emotions, even not even recognizing or realizing it. So in other words, you have to work harder in your brain to realize and recognize when you might be having some anxieties, some whatever it is, whatever feelings you have, your own personal emotions, not about anyone else, your own personal. You got to work harder to scoop those out, because your brain's only your brain. It's occupied, right? And it becomes very occupied by your kids.
Has there been like a time where you've been like really down and your kids are like, what's wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I definitely haven't gone into conversations about what was probably really wrong.
Have your kids like seen you cry? I don't even think I've ever seen you cry.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I've cried in front.
I cry all the time.
I don't cry that often. Well, we talked about, I think it's in episode 1. I don't cry that often, but I do get teary-eyed at certain conversations, and especially like movies or TV shows that like literally hit that note.
Yeah.
But that's not a sadness cry. That's just like a just squeezes the duck.
I didn't even think I cried today.
What was today?
I don't know. I was probably driving, crying about something.
You said all by myself.
Yeah, it was like listening to the Blink-182 album like for 50 million times in a row.
I thought you were listening to a Vanessa Carlton album, you told me. That's when you were crying. She only had one song. She was so good.
Yeah, no, it's but that's the thing. Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with crying.
There's not. I would like to cry more, but I'm too held back.
Why?
I don't know.
So why don't you talk to someone?
It's too expensive.
But it's worth it. Like it's
not that. Honestly, the real reason is, and I talk about this with, I have a friend, another friend, not you.
You don't have
I have so many friends, and one of my really other friends that's also my friend, but it's not you. I talk to you sometimes about this, and I say like, I'd love to speak to someone, and I said prioritizing, it's like, I don't do it. I can't actually find the time to take care of myself.
But are you like low-key scared of what they'll tell you?
No, not at all.
No. Do you know where it stems from?
No. Okay. No, I don't. Like my parents, were very, my mom's like overly emotional. Like overly, not emotional.
But that's different though. That's different.
Honestly, I think like just things of my childhood, not from a family perspective, but just like relationships. I put my back up a bunch of times.
Sure.
Maybe that's contributes to it, but no, I don't know why. And that's probably why I need a therapist, because I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I think just talking in general about whether it's professional therapy or not, or even just this, probably helps.
There's also a lot of good like online resources now that people can.
I'm too busy watching YouTube videos.
You can watch YouTube videos on that.
You know what I've been doing a lot actually watching?
What?
Speaking of therapy, you talk about the gym. I'd love to go back to the gym.
You should.
And do more, but I feel like it's not a priority for me and I don't have the time. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you a time of the day where I can go. Like, when am I going to go? Midday, I'm working.
You schedule it.
How? I don't know how. I can't figure it out.
You write your own schedule.
I know, but I can't leave. I can't not work all day. I don't know. Maybe I should.
Yeah.
Put a gym in my office. What was I saying?
Something you've been watching on YouTube?
Watching on YouTube.
You said
I've been doing this now. Yeah, that sparked therapy. I've been like drawing and painting a lot on Procreate.
I don't know what Procreate is.
It's like an iPad app. You've probably seen it.
Sounds like some weird like Republican thing.
Oh my God, it's genius. They're releasing a new software soon called Procreate Dreams. You can do animation. Procreate's huge. It's as big as like Adobe Illustrator, but it's built for the iPad.
I still use MS Paint.
I just play Minesweeper all day.
Minesweeper. So you've been drawing.
And every night, instead of like watching my iPad to go to sleep, I've been watching a YouTube tutorial and drawing on my iPad.
Say, hello, my name is Simon. I like to do drawings.
It's like that. And it's funny. A lot of these guys who are teaching are people from different parts of the world.
It's like Bob Ross. Does he do it?
No, he does. He's died before the iPad came out.
He's dead?
Yeah, Bob Ross is dead.
Fuck.
Can someone fact check that? I'm pretty sure Bob Ross is dead.
Bob Ross, comment if you're alive.
and if one of his...
And if you're not, please
a descendant, can you give us an update?
Please like invoke Sonny's body.
You're really into like did we ever play it at your house? The Ouija board?
Ali and I actually used to play Ouija board.
But you owned it, right?
No, I think Ali did. And it told me I was going to be an actor, and this was in grade 7.
Yeah, and that's what made you believe that you had talent.
Yeah. And it said I was going to be in a movie called Bad Boys, which
Bad Boys?
Clearly I missed the mark on that one.
A little bit.
And it also told me I was going to die when I was 29. Because I was a psychopath and asked him when I was going to die.
I actually remember that. I think you used to promote that.
I did.
And get excited about it.
Count it down.
On like a microphone. Like, didn't you say it at like parties we used to DJ? You're like, here's Billy. By the way, I'm going to die when I'm 29.
Yeah, it's a party like it's your last.
We were insane.
Yeah, we were.
Insane.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's the painting calms you down. That gets you.
I love it. I honestly love it. I'm even now it's gonna be too late for
You're
me
like
to go home and do it. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. What do you draw?
So the other day I drew. This is gonna sound very therapeutic because I can't. You have to see it to understand.
Meadow.
It was like clouds and a moon.
That's calming.
It's calming, but it sounds like stereotypical calming. Like of course you drew like a sunset, right? But this was like a cool type of drawing. Or at least I thought it was cool. And then yesterday I drew, this one's really cool. It was like a forest, like a scenery.
Yeah.
With like a modern neon techno kind of Tron like floating cube in the center of it.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
I like it, man.
It's just on an iPad?
On an iPad. And the software is amazing.
Was it you who used to draw Disney characters?
No, Jeremy.
That was Jeremy. True.
Yeah, I drew stuff, but Jeremy was very into drawing Disney characters.
I just like hit the mic.
Sometimes you got to hit things also to make you feel good.
Rage rooms.
I kicked a hole in my office the other day.
Why?
I got angry.
About what?
I got angry about a task that I assigned.
And someone didn't get it done?
No, it wasn't directly related to that, but that's just this was in my own mind. It didn't really happen that way, but I'm just like, I sometimes feel that the only way for me to move quick is to do something myself.
1,000%.
Right? And that's not the way to be a boss or run a company. Yeah, like we're in the same situation and I need to do that. I was talking to my partner the other day about that. I just have a problem because I just know that it also will be quicker. Like emailing.
Yeah, like perfect example. I keep trying to design something and he's like, no, it's not good.
Yeah.
I was like, then you fucking do it.
Yeah, but I didn't do it.
But you didn't do it.
Yeah, because I've also told myself that I'm, sometimes it's okay to let go. It doesn't need to be perfect
but then you
to
didn't
my
say,
standard.
Hey, go post it. You didn't say, okay,
Which one did I make fun of?
I was like talking about like the post-it notes I wanted to do with the dad tips and the dad jokes.
Oh yeah, I didn't like it.
No,
and then the conversation ended.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, you do it.
Yeah, I wasn't going to. I just wanted you to get better. I wanted to motivate you to get better.
That's not how you
No, but I was okay. I was okay with all of it because I can't hold everyone to whatever my mental standard of things need to be when it comes to that stuff anymore. I'm okay with
just letting go.
I'm learning to let go of certain things.
So what kind of stuff to just kind of tie it into the fatherhood parenting thing, and then before we wrap this up in a nice little package, like what kind of stuff do your kids do to really put that rain over your parade?
Like that.
Like
bring
what are
me
like
down?
the icks? Let's talk like the kids out there.
I think like,
what are some of your kids' icks?
Yeah, I think that nothing my kids do cause any type of significant, anxiety or depression.
That's not what I'm saying. I want you to go through your kids.
Yeah.
And be like, I wish they changed that kind of thing. Like, what are their icks?
I wish Joey wasn't, I don't wish. It sounds bad because I love them for who they are.
Sure.
Let me clarify
He just doesn't want to get canceled.
But yeah, behaviors I'd like change. I wish Joey is very quick to overreact.
Okay.
That's something I would love for her to fix.
Short fuse?
Yeah, short fuse or just like snappy.
Okay.
Probably a learned behavior from me and Jamie.
Yeah, you're not snappy at all.
I wish Sonny was a little less frightening.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to sleep having to sit with a butcher knife in my teeth,
and
ready to
crucifix.
And garlic. Sometimes she picks her nose, which pisses me off.
Does she eat it?
No. She probably has, but no, that's not the common issue. But I wish she didn't do that. And Atlas, I wish he again, not wish. He can be a little less whiny.
He's whiny.
Not whiny, but like he's smart, so he plays. I want to use the word a little less sensitive.
Okay.
But he's not so sensitive. It's just that he knows that he can turn it on, and and he's like the cutest, most delicious little muffin boy you've ever seen in my mind. And
what?
That's just, I don't know. We make up names for all our kids. You know what Joey's name? I call it Joey like Joseph Scalapini.
Okay.
I call it Josephina.
Okay.
I call my kids the children of the corn.
Yeah.
And so now I'll say like children, and then Atlas will yell out, "Of the corn." It's fucking the cutest.
Yeah.
Best little muffin man.
Their eyes turn all blue.
I call him Antless. Yeah. But he knows how to get his way, and I wish he wasn't so great at that.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, those are things, but overall,
so you wish
pretty awesome. I feel very lucky.
You are. They're good kids.
I see other people's kids, and I'm like, okay, it could be
but
worse.
Maybe they like that kind of stuff.
Who does?
Like the parents of the crazy kids.
No parents love that.
Really?
You want it easy. You want it as easy as possible. It's nice to have conflict, of course, because it's teachable moments.
No, well, 100%. And I think I've learned from that kind of stuff.
What kind of kids do you want? Or what kind of kid do you want?
I want him to be like my little buddy.
Cool.
Yeah, I want him to be cool. I want him to be proud of me.
Yeah.
Of, that I'm his dad and I'm doing a good job. I want him to be who he wants to be.
Yeah.
And like,
if he's like interested in something you're not, it's like you're fully supportive. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Learn about whatever that is.
Yeah. Right. Like you want to support him, man. And that's just be there for him. And I want to be the best version of myself for him. So that's just,
Yeah.
Did I say his name? Why do I feel like I said his name?
You didn't. You didn't say his name. And if you did, I'll cut it for you.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for little Carmichael, and that type of thought process going into becoming a dad is pretty eye opening. Like it's pretty self aware, right? Like it's a good way to think as you go into it, because being aware of that is important, because it's very easy to potentially fall off track.
Yeah.
And all of that really just will contribute to your own mental health, because again, the awareness of it doesn't mean bad things aren't going to happen or things aren't going to affect you, but the awareness of it is really all that matters, because that's when you can find the way to treat it in any way you can, whether it's yours, your wife's, your son's, whoever it is, your friend, people in your family. Being aware of it, not just on yourself but in others, will take you to the finish line. Yeah,
like it's scary, and like I'm not gonna lie, like there has been a couple of sleepless nights leading up to this, and
there's be plenty more, man.
It's
a good thing.
Yeah,
it's all good things.
It is
all good things. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, I guess
being nervous about it means you care about it. So the output of all of this energy that is building up in you is all for a good thing.
Yeah, like if I wasn't scared or freaked out a bit. I don't know. I just
want to do well. I want to be good.
I want to be a good dad. Yeah, I've like suffered imposter syndrome my whole life. So
yeah, I feel like a lot of us have.
It's crazy.
I was just talking about that the other day. It's easy to feel like that.
Yeah, and it's
believe.
Pardon?
Believe in yourself.
It's deeper than that. It's deeper than
believe. That. Grow.
Oh God.
Learn.
It's like a Tony Robbins thing. Let's go like walk on some hot coals.
No, but listen, you're already on the right foot, on the right step, because like you said, you're aware.
Well, yeah.
You're aware of it.
Yeah, you're aware and you're public. And I guess on that note, like if you are having any serious issues or some serious thoughts, or you've ever scared yourself, reach out to someone.
Yeah. Let
them know. And there's so much help out there that can really help you out. So definitely do that.
Even if it's someone that you don't think would understand, give them a chance. Because we talked earlier that we've never been the friend group to approach each other for those things, but there's no reason why we can't or shouldn't.
No.
And if anyone did, I don't think it would be I don't think I would take it like, whoa, what's this guy coming to? Like, this isn't our relationship. So you never know what someone else is thinking. So ask the questions, share the feelings, and share the emotions that you're going to go through. And that's the point of this podcast for you, to be honest, is that we're about to see all these steps, and you need to share it as we go through, because that's the only way to feel that support and feel that kind of circle of dads around you.
No, and it's cool because like we've had people we don't know at all reach out to us.
Yeah.
We've had like people watching in Germany. We've had people watching in Switzerland. All like literally, I see the analytics is all over the world.
And we love to interact. So like, please, I think that as we go forward, if you're watching this end, send us questions, send us comments. We want to maybe answer some of the questions that you guys have that we maybe aren't touching upon or glazing over. So if you have any questions that you want us our take on, right? We're not professionals in any way except dad and dad to be, send in those questions or comments, and we appreciate it, and we'll comment back, and hopefully you'll appreciate it too.
And on that note, we need you to smash that like button.
Yep.
Hit that subscribe.
Yep.
So, when we upload, and that bell.
Yes.
That bell's going to notify. It's a notification bell. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up.
Yep.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, anywhere where you listen to podcasts, MySpace, Pure Volume, mp3.com.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to rate the episode because it does a lot for us.
For the algorithms.
For the algorithms. For those algorithms.
Do it for the algs.
If you're watching on YouTube, hello.
Hi, guys.
We love you.
And tell me that I don't look like Grimace. I don't.
Thanks so much for watching. I'm Paul.
I'm Daniel.
This is the Dad Collective Podcast.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
I'm not going to push the mic this time.
You're not going to do that.
I'm going to get out this way.
You got yelled at. Limbo time.
Make sure you tune in each and every week for a brand new episode of The Dad Collective.